All right, welcome all. This is Ed from Guitar Space, and I'm here today with LI Productions founder, Georges Elchakieh, and we're going to talk about his book, Gig for Life. But first, I want to say hello, George. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. And
Pleasure.
the other thing that for the viewers, you're going to notice some familiarity because George and I do have some history, and this is probably the first time that I've been calling him George because usually you go by G. A lot of the folks
almost everyone calls me G and my friends, yeah.
Yeah.
But George is fine.
Well, I'll probably be bouncing back and forth between that. But G, congratulations on the book. This is a book called Gig for Life, and let me tell you something. I'm a fan, and every musician, aspiring musician, anybody who's doing business in music needs to read this. So first, congrats. We're recording this probably a week before the actual official launch, but right now, gee, you're #1 on Amazon, correct?
Yes. So the way it works, Amazon goes up and down a lot, but the last I checked, which a couple of days ago, the book was #1 on the new releases, and #3 on bestsellers. So I guess the pre-orders are already coming out. I couldn't be happier.
Oh, that's fantastic. Fantastic. But listen, I want to start a little bit where you actually don't mention this until further on in the book, but you have a very unique band promise, and I think that's important that's an important starting point. What is your band promise?
Our band promise is every night is Saturday night. So right there, you know what it means. As everyone knows what a Saturday night looks like. We're all musicians, and even if you're not a musician, walk to anybody, say, describe a Saturday night in a fun bar, in a fun venue. Excuse me. And right away, they'll tell you what a Saturday night looks like. And what's important is when you go talk to bar owners to get a gig, they want to know what are you going to do. And this way, when we talk to the hotels we work with and bar owners, that's our promise. Like every night is Saturday night, because sales records are broken Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They're gonna almost run themselves because the adrenaline's there, the man's motivated, and people go out on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, people don't go out. So if you go with the mentality that every night is Saturday night and you deliver that every night of the week, because no person goes out on a Monday thinking, I'm just going to have a little bit of fun. Let me just have a Monday fun. The reason they're going out is to have fun. And the beer and the drink on Monday costs the same money as it does on Saturday. So as a consumer, I'm being shortchanged. I want to see the Saturday night show. Just because if you're going to see the play Cats on Broadway, and it happens to be on a Tuesday, I mean, don't give me 60% of the staff. I mean, I want to see the play. Yeah. So I wanted to make it very clear to our artists, our musicians, and the band, the owners, what we're promising is that we promise you that every night is Saturday night. And it's very important to communicate that so everyone knows what needs to be delivered.
No, I found that incredibly important because Saturday's only one night out of the week.
Exactly.
And many of us play multiple nights during the week, and bar owners want to test you some. At least my experience has been, we'll give you a Wednesday. What can you do on a Wednesday?
Correct.
Wednesday's a weeknight for them.
Sorry, it's very hot in Vietnam, man.
Well, that's what we get because we have the time difference. It's we're going through a nice cool time right now. But all right, so your bands play how many nights a week?
6 nights a week. But there's another added thing, if I may add. When I was still playing in Canada and in North America, almost every gig we've ever gotten was on a Monday. Because no club owner is going to leave his place on Friday and Saturday, go check out other bands to hire. They're going to come see you on a Monday or on a Tuesday because that's the only time they can leave. So it's important that you deliver all the time. You get used to that. Michael Jordan once said, they say, why do you work so hard in practice? He said, I don't want my body to know the difference. Once my feet hit the court, there's only one way for me to play basketball. And I thought it was pretty amazing. So you train yourself to give that every night of the week. And we got all of the gigs on Monday because you never know who's in the house and they're not going to tell you they're there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's an important point. Yeah, because the guys we play on Thursday nights, and I can't get a bar owner to come and see us on a Thursday night, so we get the Wednesday night. But I started incorporating a lot of this with my situations. But I'm just one band. You have a whole stock of musicians, and it's grown since the last time we spoke. How many musicians? How many bands? How many countries?
So I didn't answer the first question you had. Our bands play 6 nights a week, and we can talk about that later. How good that is for musicians to improve. Before COVID, we had 21 bands. We were about 91 musicians touring, and how many countries? I think we went in 15 countries in different cities in some countries. We're all over China, Thailand, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Oman, I mean, everywhere. And the musicians in our company is about 20 different nationalities as well.
Wow.
So it's pretty international. And it's fantastic for musicians because they get to know how to deal with different audiences, different cultures, So it's superb for musicians. And playing 6 nights a week is also amazing because I remember before I left Montreal, one of my friends said, man, it's 6 nights a week is so much work. By the way, I did it for like almost 25 years. He said, yeah, but imagine how good of a player you're going to be in 2 years from now. And even if you don't get a chance to practice, you're playing all the time. Yeah. So it's a grind. Yeah. But I was addicted to the grind. I loved it when I did it. And I did it for decades.
I only did it for 2 years, but for 2 years I was at the Marriott here in town 4 nights a week. And everything that you say, you're playing just it can't help but get better. But also, and this happened after we first met. So I already had some of the experience, and back then, we're going back 4, 5, 6 years ago.
Yeah, I assume when we first met.
And we were talking, and you were talking about the philosophy, the gig for life philosophy, which I'd like to touch on a little bit later. But the blueprint was there, and the blueprint's been there. Now you cover a ton of these stories in the book. The book is worth it for the stories, but the thing is that sandwiched in between the stories is basically your blueprint for success. All right. So, but before we get into that, what are the top 3 problems that you see in most bands that could probably help the folks that are listening to us with their personal situations?
Like, start with yourself. A lot of times musicians join the wrong band. And that's, to me, everything starts. That's why the first chapter of the book is called Me. Because the better I got at things, and everything you read in the book, I've screwed up on 1,000 times. It's not like I got up one day and I did everything perfectly right. The reason I wrote the book, it's like Siddhartha. If you read the book Siddhartha, it's like you have to go through all the crazy stuff to come to some realizations. Don't join band. First, you have to decide what kind of music you want to play and who you want to play with and who are you. The biggest problems, like if you want to pick one problem that we have faced in every band, is the musician, the individual is not centered.
Mm-hmm.
Once the musician is centered, then they know what they want and they want to know who they want to play with. They know where they want to play and who they want to play for. So if you know who you are, the musicians you want to play with, the venues you want to play in, and the audience you want to entertain, right away you pretty much cleared a lot of the other stuff out. So the problem we have is that the musicians are not centered. They're just kind of, I can play the guitar. That's it. Like, I'm a great keyboard player, and that to them that's good enough. But then they walk in and they're shocked by everything because
Yeah.
it's not just about you. So I would say the number one problem is that center yourself, because once that's there, almost all the problems disappear. Almost everything disappears. With the
Mhm.
musicians we have that are centered, have been with us for 10, 11 years, everything works.
Yeah.
Second thing is, musicians have day jobs sometimes. Most of us have had day jobs where we're more than willing to do what the manager of the store asks, or the boss or whatever. But as soon as we get the gig, we refuse to do what the man is saying because it's his band. So is that they're more than willing to apply all the requirements at a job they don't like and refuse to do anything of the things they say at a gig where they're supposed to be. This is what I love to do in life. Apply the same attitude you do on a job you don't even like to a gig that you love, because there is a band leader. Now, you're either the band leader or you're a supporter. If you're a supporter, support him. If you don't want to support him, leave. But don't be so. That's the second problem we have, is that they don't know their position in the band. And when you get out of that position, a lot of problems happen. A lot of problems arise. Third issue, actually, I never thought this through. I'm going on the fly because I have so many bands that run, so it's not that difficult for me to come up with it. And again, it's your daily habits. And when you're touring, take everything, every temptation you've ever had, and multiply it by 1,000. It's
Mhm.
all available. So your daily habits will also ruin you. So I'm gonna go again and again and again, back to the individual. And you gotta realize you're not in this alone. Like, a lot of people are involved. It's a lot of artists don't realize how expensive it is to hire a band and run a bar. So one is understand who you are and keep working on yourself, because you are the project. Understand who you want to play with and where you want to play and the audience you want to play for and how you're going to entertain them. You get that together, it's all about you. Once you get all of that together, everything works.
Yeah, you have a beautiful way of putting that, because in the book, you said, as a musician, you're looking for the right situation. But, and I'm paraphrasing here, are you the right person? You have to be right first. And we don't look at things that way. And sometimes the desire to be part of a band is bigger. So you go with the first situation when it's not the right situation.
And ask questions, man. Ask questions. A lot of musicians, when we hire a musician, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find out who you are. Like, that's the first thing. Like, believe me, I have all kind of mechanism. I want to know who you are, the person. You're about to join us in Thailand, in Korea, in Cambodia. And you're on your own. Like, you got the band leader. So it's not like you're in the store in front of us where we're working. It's like they're working and touring. So ask a lot of questions. Who do you want to play with? I want to play with Ed. Okay. Where does Ed play? Find out who does Ed play with. There's a bass player there, right? On the stage. Go ask him. Say, how's it working with Ed? How is he? Is he cool? Does he arrive on time? Is he professional? Is he respectful? Is he supportive? Does he pay on time? Like, ask these simple questions. Then you want to play in a bar. Just talk to other musicians. How is the monitor system? How are the lights? How do they pay on time? How is the staff? Are they nice to musicians, or are they mean? Find out all these things
Yeah.
and put them down. Here's the pros. Here are the cons. This is what's great about this venue. This is what's great about these musicians. And and then if then you say, okay, am I willing to take this gig with these cons? That the monitor sometimes doesn't work, the lighting is messed up, they don't do marketing, the service sometimes, whatever it is. If you're willing to take the gig with these conditions, then just do the gig. Don't go in there and start complaining, man, the monitors are no good, the lights are no good. So there's just, all you did is you found out that there is mud, then walked in the mud, then decided to complain about the mud.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, so ask a lot of questions and then make a an educated decision. But once you make the decision, like basically just don't be a pain in the ass. Nobody likes to work with that guy.
Yeah, yeah, and there is a lot of candid advice that you lay out very practically. Now, speaking of which, let's hit the layout of the book, because you have a unique way where we begin with you, the musician, and you talk a lot about relationships in the book, in the book, because basically, I mean, that's what we do. We establish a relationship not only with our band members but also with the venue that we're working in, and also the audience. And a lot of these little details get overlooked. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
I spent hundreds of hours thinking about this stuff. When you really think about it, first of all, before YouTube, where it was you and the camera, people played gigs. You know, they hauled their gear in a car and they drove to the gig and they rehearsed and they argued, and and I advise every musician, even if you're a YouTuber playing in front of camera, it's amazing, but nothing beats being on stage and getting that thing with your friends. You're playing with some people you love, you're playing for the audience, you get that thing, and there's no editing, you're not fixing the right sound, you're making sure your makeup's perfect. It's live, man. It's the real deal. So go out there and play. That's one thing. So there's 4 elements to this thing. That's why the book is laid out in 4 chapters, which I call set list, because every musician understands a set list, and every chapter is a track. So to have fun with it. There's 4 things that you must continue. It's like, have you heard of the Flywheel?
Yeah.
I'm doing the Flywheel now for my company. I'm still amateur at it, but basically it makes perfect sense. You improve you. The musicians you play with get better. The clubs you play in get better and pay better. More audience come see you. Then you improve you again. And then the musicians you play with get better. And then the clubs you play in get better, and the money gets better. And more people are aware of you and come see you. Then you go up a notch. You improve you again. And then that flywheel keeps on turning. And next thing you know, you're playing with Sting. So you just there's 4 things to this. Always work on you. Everything else is going to go up and comes back here. And now you're moving up in the world. That's basically been my entire life. It's the same thing that just brought it. And now I'm able to work with hundreds of amazing musicians, wonderful people, and relationship. We're talking, you and I are talking. I could have just dropped that relationship. The last project we worked together, it could have stopped right there.
Yeah.
But it didn't.
Yeah. And you speak a lot about that, about keeping these connections together, and you practice what you preach. Yes, I hear from you every 3 or 4 months.
Yeah. You're in my schedule.
Well, I wanted to go back a little bit, and you do cover all of your history, but how you actually got here is an amazing story, from your childhood to the early days. The pizzeria. I love the pizzeria stories. You know, with the tickets. We were talking about the
one piece at a time.
Yeah, because one of the lines that you I'm going to paraphrase again. Dream big, but think small. Is that how?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Look, to this day, I do the same thing. To this, like even writing the book. Writing a book is it's so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a writer. You should know. It's. I always say it's the second hardest thing I've ever done. The hardest thing I've ever done was leave the drums and move up front psychologically. That was the
Yeah.
most difficult thing. So my background really fast, as you know, there was a civil war in Lebanon. I grew up in the war, and there were bombs dropping everywhere nonstop since when I was born, when I was 9 years old. And then when we were 14, we basically got out of there. We went to Canada, worked at my brother's business, and then I started my own pizzeria and moved to Montreal, went to university in music. 2 years into it, I dropped out because I went there to start a band. Started the band. I didn't see any. Maybe I should have stayed, but I've never had any regrets about that. So let's talk about. I want this podcast to be very helpful for musicians. I want to.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to write a book. You know, like you see here. I don't know if you see. There's a timeline.
Yeah.
I want to write a book. That's dream big. Think small. What does that mean? What's the first thing I need to do? Is there was another gentleman that wrote a book. I just read his book. I said, message Ron Lovett, who has a great book. And I went and said, hey, man, this is George. I enjoyed your book. Great, George. When did you read my book? Robert Ross said, which company did you work with? Then he put me in touch with the company. The only thing I had is I want to write a book and one action. That's what's next. It's in the book. The one action was send a message. It wasn't send a message and have a meeting and then get another ghost. It wasn't even a ghostwriter, actually. I did it myself. And I'll tell you how the book was done. And then, then what's next was one message to this author. As soon as I was done with that, the next step decided itself. Send an email to the publishing company. I don't need to do everything. So that's what I mean. Think big. Okay, I wanna buy a house. That's big goal. And then you say, well, what's next? Research where I want to live. Go for a drive. One thing, one pizza at a time. So when we walk on the counter and there's this many orders, we put them all on the side. We took the one on top, put it in front of us, say, large, all dressed. Just make this pizza. I can see the other ones there, and I see them coming at me, but right now, this is it. Then you take that, you move it forward, pizza's done. You take the next paper. So if you were there and you have 900 to-do lists, man, it's just, you're like deflated before you even start. So, but just start. And like, I was talking to my secretary yesterday. I gave her a big project. We're going to rehaul the website. She's like, I said, what's the first thing you need to do? Said, I got a message so-and-so. Said, that's it. But just start, start. A lot of people just don't, whatever it is, no matter how big it is, just start. Do one thing, man. And the next thing, I'll just do that one thing. Keep doing that little thing, that tweak. Keep doing that. And that big thing is coming, 100%.
Yeah, no, yeah. I see it, and that must be huge because you also have an amazing amount of logistics to handle with so many bands, so many countries. But that's probably bigger than what most of us average weekend musicians deal with.
We hired 20 musicians in the past 9 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what is that process like?
It's again, you gotta find the right musician. And my concept is, if I hire a musician, in my mind is very simple for me. Would I want to work with this person for the rest of my life? It doesn't matter if they're with us for 4 months. Here in my heart, and it's a thing you feel like, if Ed was around here, I am sure you and I are going to have a relationship for the rest of our lives. And somehow, somewhere, there's a comfort zone. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. Is like, when, we have a process of how we hire, but when it comes to me, because the last one will be, should we hire this person? That always comes to me. And then I may call them or just ask the team, but would I want to work with this person for the rest of my life? If that's answered, then I feel much more comfortable.
Yeah.
And hiring, it dawned on me yesterday, and I wrote it down. I'll put a video on that. hiring is a guess at best, but firing is a certainty. It just dawned on me yesterday at dinner because I'm thinking, because we're hiring so many people. I'm always hoping for the best when I hire somebody. We do our homework. I can't say we're like every one person we hire is a. There's a lot of uncertainty there, so we hire them and hope to God it's going to work. But when we let them go, we're very certain why.
Yeah.
And you
also mentioned that you sometimes you're doing them a favor because sometimes they're already out the door, but they don't want to leave.
Yeah, because musicians, not musicians, man. I mean, you could take that book and write it about 700 different industries.
Yeah.
People are uncertain, but they get stuck, man. They get stuck. It's like, look, the entire band knows you're not into it anymore. The audience know you're not into it anymore. There's three things every musician should decide when they come to a band. Am I a plus? Am I a neutral? Or am I a minus? If you're a minus and you don't leave, someone else is going to make that decision on your behalf. Sooner or later, any band that's worth a dime is going to make that decision on your behalf. If you're a minus, you're confrontational, you're not professional, you're not fun to be around, you don't care about the rest of the band, you don't care about their well-being, you don't care about the audience, you don't give a crap about the bar owners, you're a definite minus. My advice to you is that have a good talk with yourself. It would be a good idea to have a good talk with yourself daily. Write down where you want to go here. Not the house you want to buy here. Where do you want to go? How you want to be? Like you said, when we talk, you feel good after.
Yeah.
Do people feel good after they see you? Do they feel good at the rehearsal because of your presence? And if you're a blah, which is neutral, you have two decisions to make. You become a plus, or again, you're going to go into the minus, because that nobody lives there. When you're a blah, I'm going to make the decision. I'm going to take you under my wing and I'm going to say, you have the potential to be a plus. Do you want to put the effort into being a plus? Because no one's going to allow you to sit there where you bring nothing. Like if I took you off the stage that day, who's going to miss you? The other one we know, the minus we know, is just a pain in the neck for themselves and everybody else. They're just not professional, not fun to be around, and they don't care about anything. That's easy decision. The person that just shows up and plays his bass, you have to make a decision like, if we change you tomorrow, would the band miss you? Would the bar owner be screaming and yelling to bring you back? And would the audience would be saying, where's Ed? Yeah. If you're sitting there and you're bringing nothing, there's only one way to go. With zero effort, you're going towards the minus for sure. But with some effort, you go to the plus. So make that decision where you're gonna be in the band. And when you hire people, we're always gonna, every 4 months, I'm gonna look at the list. Right away, I'm gonna say, who's the plus, who's the neutral, who's the minus? The minus out. The neutral, support them to become an A plus, but they got one more gig to become a plus person. If they're not, also out. And it's the only way you can keep the quality going up and up and up and up and up.
Like the only way to deliver that every night is a Saturday night.
Every night is Saturday night. But some plus musicians, some A plus musicians, sometimes they're not. Same like sports, man. I mean,
yeah.
Sometimes at one point they stop delivering. It's like, you gotta take a vacation. No, man, I need the money. No, man, you gotta take a vacation. Like, out, just go. I knew it, man. I was in my son was about 3 months old. I was doing a long gig in Spain, and I've always loved that stage. I mean, all I thought about was what I'm gonna do to make people go wow, go crazy. That's the only thing every day I thought about that. The song to me was just a tool for that reaction. Songs come and go, man. So the only thing I want to do is that would this song get that reaction from the people? And I've been doing it for years and years and years in so many different countries. I'm 58. My first band was when I was 23, so I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
And I remember we were in Spain, man, and I went through the ritual. I always go through the whole show in my head. And then I start calmly. I get in the car. They used to send a van to take us. It was in a beautiful resort in La Manga. And as soon as I walked on stage, I just knew it. I was done. There was nothing left in me. And I went to my wife right away. I said, it's time to fire George.
Wow.
Because he is becoming a minus. He is no longer a plus in the band. And that's not fair to my guys. And that's when I started the process of exiting. So
No, it's a lot,
you have to be deadly honest.
Personal inventory that leads to professional inventory, because you can't do the professional inventory if you haven't done the personal inventory.
Me, man, me is the project.
Yeah.
Me, and that wheel just keeps getting better, or it can go the other way around.
Yeah, because we don't stay stagnant. You're either
You
moving
can't.
towards it or you're moving away from it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're here and people going backwards, you know they're going backwards.
Yeah.
And people are moving forwards, but you're here. That means as soon as people move forward, all of a sudden you're back. You're left behind. So you become a minus. Like, it doesn't take that long. My least favorite musician in the world, my least favorite, is the guy standing on stage like this. Like, I'm so good. I'm such an amazing musician. And some of the best musicians have that attitude. Don't apply to live productions. You're not going to make it through the door, by the way. But they come on that stage. It's like, I'm such an amazing musician. I should be playing with Maxwell, but I'm taking this stupid gig because, well, I got to pay the rent. And all these musicians here are dummies, and the audience are beneath me. This whole gig is beneath me. So I come on stage, I'm like, and it's such a turn off.
Yeah.
It's such a, don't take the gig, my friend. Don't take the gig. Why would you put yourself through that? I mean, Costco pays more money than most gigs. Just whatever, become a lawyer. Whatever makes you happy. Don't take the gig. Don't bring that energy. Because if there's one thing I know, is that everybody's replaceable, including me. One day, somebody else will be running this company. Everybody is replaceable. Frank Sinatra is dead. Michael Jackson is dead. Prince is dead. Tina Turner is dead. David Bowie is dead. And Earth is still turning.
Yeah.
If these incredible musicians are no longer here and somehow we manage to get up and have breakfast, just be a plus in the world. Walk on stage, make somebody happy. It's not that hard. And you have to say to yourself, ask yourself this very difficult question. If I walked off the stage, who would miss me? Would the owners ask about me? Would the audience ask about me? Would the band take a fit? That's what your value is. I see these videos like, you should never do a gig under $100. You should never do a gig under $200. I'm like, you shouldn't even be paying with that. You should be paying me. Because your value is what you bring. What you ask for is what you bring. And then decide what you're going to be. Be the person that brings something to the table. And that's why I think every musician should run their own band at one point. Every musician should run a band at one point. The way they think will change a lot.
Yeah, because, well, a lot of us, you two went to music college, and they teach you how to be a technician on the instrument. But all of these things that we're talking about here are You know how to play the instrument, but now can you get along with people? Can you think about anybody other than yourself? And what value do you bring? You also you have a lot of insight, these little tidbits. For those of you out there, you got to follow George on Instagram, and on LinkedIn, whatever. So you're on all the social
Yeah,
channels,
just
correct?
go to at Georges Elchakieh, or just put hashtag Gig for Life and you'll find me anywhere.
Yeah, yeah, and there's all these tidbits on your personal relationships, your personal life, personal things to look at. And those are one thing. If you want to start with something, just whatever pops in that day, whatever speaks to you. Is one of the things that you said that was
Absolutely.
very valuable that changed my life was learn to sing. There's a million guitar players out there. You know, you'll run into guitar players everywhere. But as soon as you become a guitar player that can sing, now that narrows it down, and now you cut away some of the competition. And now
Well, all things being equal, guitar player A, guitar player B, both wonderful people, both can play. One can sing. Who would you hire?
Yeah.
You know, and as a matter of fact, in our company, Live Productions, it's mandatory. You take the gig, you're gonna sing. Like there is no way you're not gonna sing. You're a drummer, bass player, guitar player, piano player. You will sing. I have never had a musician call me after 2 years say, "Damn you, George! You made me sing. I should have never listened to you." I cannot tell you how many emails I get. Say, "G, it was hard. It was scary. You bullied me into it because I will bully you into it." It's like, "Ed, go sing a damn tune, bro. You believe me. Believe me, 2 weeks from now, you're going to thank me." And of course, you're going to sound like shit. So what? I was the worst singer I've ever hired. The worst. But it changed my whole life.
Yeah.
My whole life. And then, so all these musicians, they learn how to sing. And all of a sudden, look, the reasons a lot of musicians think singers are pain in the ass, and most of them are, is because they know you need them. They know if they walk off the gig, you're screwed. It's subconscious. It's not the master evil plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just there. But as soon as everybody sings, you're just one of us now.
Yeah.
And from one thing, it frees you. You can get tons more gigs than you've ever done before, like yourself. And the other thing is security. Like it takes 2 months to get a visa before I can send someone to Dubai or China, let's say. Some countries, Dubai is not so bad, but it takes 2 months. If somebody gets sick, what are we supposed to do? It's security. When you're saying it's security, it's like, the singer's sick. Okay, well, you sing.
Yeah.
And it brings so much variety to the show. Some of our showstoppers are the drummers singing. Like when the audience go crazy, they come off from behind the drums. The bass player plays a groove for a simple groove to support him. The drummer goes up front, and people they love it because he's got this one shot, his one tune, and he just wants to make that work.
Yeah.
So, man, yesterday we were hiring somebody. We hired so many people this week, and that's why I have so much material for the videos now. Because my videos are the real deal because it just happened an hour ago. So when I put something out, it happened an hour ago. It's not like I'm trying to think it, I'm Googling it, And we have 3 musicians we want to hire. We send them. They've been playing, man, for 6, 7 years. They don't have a decent video, but they have 9,000 pictures of their spaghetti on Instagram. They don't have a picture for the gig, but they have 10,000 pictures in their bikinis on the beach. And good for you. I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong, but where is your energy gonna be? So if you don't have a picture that can be used for getting a gig, if you don't have a decent video with a decent sound, You don't own a microphone. You don't have a good bass guitar or guitar. Impossible for people to take you seriously. You can scream and yell for, oh, I can't get a gig, this is crap, blah, blah, blah. Like, no one's going to take you seriously. So, as an actual example, we're trying to book these musicians everywhere. We will have over 35, 40 musicians flying on one day coming up in a few weeks. It's a lot of work. And I sent these three singers were all wonderful. The hotel took the girl that had the picture and the video with good sound. And I couldn't convince them that, look, she's great, man. She's great. It's like, I don't want to do the work. I don't want to guess that she's great.
Yeah.
So if I could just beg musicians, beg them, get a passport, go see a professional photographer and spend the $200, man. You spend them on Nike shoes that bring you nothing. Go get a professional photo session. Spend the money with it, not with my cousin James has a really great camera. I mean, go to a studio, let a pro do it, and record a video. Nowadays, who can't do that? It's already in your phone. It's already, get a nice video playing. Cover a few things. If you're a musician, cover some blues, cover some basic jazz. You don't have to be Miles. Just some basic. If you know how to play jazz, fine. If you don't know how, cover your ability to play rhythm. Can you play lead? Play some blues. Think of a wedding gig. What's needed at a wedding gig? Do that. Make the little kid happy and make grandma happy. Just 4 tunes, like 3 tunes. Have something. If I could just convince musicians, no one's gonna take yourself seriously. And again, man, the wheel, me.
Yeah.
I can sing. Now, how do I know that? I don't know that. You have to put it together so I would know that. 80% of the musicians that contact us, they have no passport, no picture, no video. It's insane. And they lose all these opportunities.
My first gig overseas was we're going back. No YouTube, no internet site or anything like that. The guy called me up on a Monday and said, "Do you have a passport? I got your name from so and so. Do you have a passport?" I said, "Yeah, I have a passport. I need someone who can move fast." Didn't even ask me if I could play or what he needed a guitar player. And he needed someone.
Well, who cares if you can't fly? I mean, who cares? Yeah. I mean, it could be.
That was my first gig. He goes, "I'll give you 2 days to get your shit together." And and there'll be a ticket waiting for you at the ticket counter at the airport. And it was that I was 23 years old, 24 years old, but I had a passport. That was it.
If you like to travel the world, and every musician should, it will change your life. And if you want to make some money and save money, which is what you save that matters. Even if one gig pays you $2,000 back home, and you get 3 gigs a year, you made $6,000 a year. So it's not. So it's what you save that matters. Your food is being paid for, man. You live in 5-star hotels. Sometimes it's apartments, but most of the time it's in a 5-star hotel. Sometimes apartments. You don't pay for food. You don't pay for your flights. So my wife and I used to save almost everything. We bought a house.
Yeah.
From like minimum wage. But so get a passport. We have musicians sometimes saying, I say, "You have a passport?" I said, "Well, if I get the gig, I'll get a passport." I said, "Go get a passport, man." And we hire musicians like the way you were hired. It happens to us all the time. We need a guitar player in 48 hours. Even the guy that's not that good sometimes gets the gig because the great guy doesn't have a passport. What am I supposed to do? So that's why our company values, it's important to have values on professional, fun, and caring. Before I used to have like 10 values. I kept crushing it because it all came down to those 3 things. Because I want people to understand them. Are you professional? Are you fun to be around? No one wants to be around someone who's like, brings a bad energy. And do you care? I used to have it saying, take care of each other. I took that out because what ended up happening is the bands take care of each other and they forget about everybody else. It became an us against them. You know, in SEALs, I saw Jack Wolnick say, take care of each other. I said, that sounds great. Then I said, yeah, you need that when you're in the army because it's us against them in general,
Yeah.
But take care. Caring means you care about the bar owners, you care about the staff, you care about housekeeping, you care about the office team that we have here. So if you're professional and you're fun to be around and you're a caring person, almost guaranteed you're gonna get a gig. Guaranteed. If it's not today, it's in 4 months from now, 6 months from now. If it's not with us, it's gonna be with somebody else. Guaranteed you will get the gig. Just be patient, get your tools, get your package together, the marketing package, keep working on you. If you're a professional, fun, and a caring person, you will work.
Yeah. That's so true because we see that in other industries as well every day. And I remember when I was working and hiring a team, your resume told me you could do the job, but I wanted to meet with you in person to see, can I stand this person for 8 hours a day? Now, in a band situation, it's a little different because you're on stage for only a few hours, but there's rehearsals, there's downtime. You're always together.
Oh no, the band. If you really want to know who the person is, go on the road with them. It's more than 8 hours a day. We eat together. We hang out after the gig together. We rehearse together. We're like inseparable. I mean, all my best friends are musicians or hotel managers. Yes, we're together all the time. And you're saying, to take it further, I don't say, can I stand working with this guy for 8 hours? And me, from the way I see it is, would I want to see this person for the rest of my life? Do I want this energy around me for the rest of my life? I take it a lot further. And if you get like, yeah, I like Ed, man, he's a cool guy. We can have breakfast every day and never run out of things to talk about. We can giggle, we can have fun. I'm like, I want Ed in my company. I want 100 Eds in my company. That's where it all starts for me. Musicians are shocked sometimes when I'm doing this. I call them, they say, I can play. I said, wait. Are your grandparents alive? I said, yeah. When was the last time you called grandma? And they're like, what the hell does this have to do with me playing guitar? Because I'm hiring you, the person. And a man that doesn't care about his children or his grandma is not gonna care about the band or the venue or the audience. It's you. It's always you. So if you're cool, we're cool. Come on in, man. And I'll do everything to keep you. If you want to stay.
It starts with you and it ends with you.
You're the project. The Gig for Life could have been written, maybe one day there'll be one for YouTubers, because now I'm so familiar with that world. They're not very different from musicians. It can be like, I'm 58. I started reading books when I was 14 or 16. I love reading. And I made so many mistakes. Every day I finish my day, I'm like, I could have said that better. I probably feel the same way about this podcast. I could have done that better. I'm taking notes. I'm reading. I have a list of my thoughts to read every day. It never stops. But again, I'm so excited to start the day because the project has no ending. The process is so much fun. The process is exhilarating to me. And I wrote the book. I'll never make any money from the book. I'll never recover the expenses. But I love it. Finally I took everything I've gone through in the hope that a musician like yourself, you say, I took one nugget from it, one thing, then great. my life, my entire professional career has helped Ed with one thing. That's worth it to me. I'm doing all these videos now on YouTube and everything. 2 weeks ago, I had 0 people on my channel. I got 18. I was so excited because I'm just having fun. 18, great. That's 18 more than the week before. Like, but when you stress so much about, oh, I gotta get 1,000 subscribers, it takes the joy out of it. Have fun. Have fun with your life and keep working on you. Like you go up this way, the wheel's gonna spin faster. It's gonna spin so much faster at the beginning. It's very slow moving. The more you are the lid of your life. If your abilities are here, your life will never surpass the person. The only way for your life to improve is to push that lid up. You're the lid. You're what stops it. So you work on you. The people you play with, you may be the same band over and over, but they love you more. They appreciate you more. You get better gigs. The audience say, man, I can't wait to go see it play. And then just keep doing it. And it starts spinning faster and faster and faster. And that to come to that takes less time. Because now you're spinning the wheel a lot faster by fixing. Maybe the word fixing may indicate that there's something wrong with you. That's not what I mean, but just keep on tweaking. That's why every video I release, it's a tweak. Do that one thing today. That one thing today is walk on stage, wrap the wires, wipe the cymbals, clean your drum set, move these things off the stage, make it tidy. That's one thing. That's one tweak today. But you just push the wheel.
That's such great advice. Guys, get the book. I'm going to get it on Kindle. You sent me a PDF. I'm getting it on Kindle because I like making notes. I'm a Kindle guy because, well, also, I mean, I live in South America. Getting books shipped here is difficult. I do love the reading experience. I love the book experience. Gigforlife.com is the website.
Yes, it's live.
Hashtag Gig for Life. You'll
find me everywhere.
Yeah. There's also Live Productions. I'll have all of these in the description below. And thank you so much. I always look forward to hearing from you. I always look forward to talking to you. I love this. I am so jazzed about Gig for Life. I'm going to buy physical copies and give them to each of my band members because we can all use it. Thank you so much.
The first week, thank you. First, July 14th is going to come out. I'm going to put it at a ridiculously low price the first week. Like, you can buy 3 books for a cup of coffee, just so many musicians can have it and read it. The first week, I'll put it at like super low price, so people can just go and grab it. And grab 5. You can grab 5 for $5 just for 1 week.
Oh, I'll be doing that.
Yeah.
Thanks, George. I always enjoy talking to you. I look forward to eventually meeting you, shaking your hand, giving you a hug, and sharing a coffee, and then we'll talk our ears off because you and I have gotten together and had long conversations. I look forward to that in the future.
Thank you, Ed. You're a wonderful person. You've always been very supportive. Thank you. Thank you for your time and the best of luck.
Likewise, G. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, everyone. Bye.